in studio today with Cherise and Erin, and we're really going to talk about the unique financial planning needs of women. And as a team of women in finance, we've had a fair amount of experience in advising women on their finances. Obviously, the gender pay disparity is a significant factor when it comes to women building their wealth. The other factor is that many women who, particularly those who want to have children, have their careers interrupted. And Erin, let's start with you maybe as a mother of 2 school-going children. What does it mean to have your career interrupted?
Well, firstly, I think we're quite privileged in this day and age that technology allows us to be a little bit more agile. But even having said that, planning for children and the cost isn't just the 4 months you're on maternity leave. Often you're sacrificing many hours in the first couple of years. You might be interrupting your career if you're having more than one child. So you start thinking to yourself, do I put this study opportunity on hold? Do I really want to go for this promotion because it might mean more time that I have to give up at home? So sometimes what happens is you actually are sacrificing the opportunity careers that you have, and this could have an impact on your ability to earn more money or increases, and ultimately will affect your retirement and investment plan. Sometimes things don't go according to plan, and you might need to stay at home a lot longer than what you had originally planned for. Or maybe you love being a mom and you decide that, staying at home is the right thing for you and your family. So there are a lot of factors to consider when having children.
And also, becoming a stay-at-home mom brings a lot of risks on its own, such as only having a single income household. The expenses increase, the income decreases, and being in a relationship where that is the case, you need to have the conversation with your spouse and decide what's fair, and you need to agree on these things. And if you're in an unfortunate position to need to leave your spouse later, you need to be financially independent so that you can make these decisions and not stay in it because of financial independency.
And on the issue of income, because obviously if you're a stay-at-home mom, you no longer have an income. But let's talk about income, because according to the latest World Economic Forum's Gender Gap Report, women are earning 35% less than their male counterparts for the same job across the board, which is quite frightening. So the gender pay gap is, on the face of it, yes, women are earning in many instances less than men, but it goes further than that because it actually affects pension benefits, life cover benefits. Let's talk about the longer term effects of the gender pay gap.
Ultimately, your pension benefits are linked to your salary. So if your salary is either starting lower or you're just not able to keep up because of interruptions to your career, you're now contributing less, which means that it has a compounding effect. Even if your salary increases keep pace with that of your male counterpart, you're just starting off of a lower base, and that's much harder to make up over time. Your group cover benefits are less, so there are a lot of things to consider other than just the actual salary.
And also, if you decide to change a job, when you get to the point of negotiating for a new salary, you are negotiating from a lower base, and that will just continue throughout your process of doing it for another job in the future.
So it's basically just a reduced bargaining power.
Exactly, and because of the pay parity, it increases as you go along.
To complicate matters more, women tend to live 2 to 7 years longer than men, which means that they need to save more off a lower income.
Yeah, or work longer.
Or work longer, exactly. So we've understood now that women have got unique financial planning needs. What can women do to create wealth?
Well, I suppose the most obvious thing is to start as early as possible. So if you decide to be a career woman to start with, start saving from your first paycheck, understand what it's going to mean for you when starting a family, have these open discussions with your spouse. And if you are going to decide to stay at home, you need to be on the same page.
And remember, when you are staying at home and you need to save for yourself, you can't necessarily use a retirement annuity because you're not receiving that tax incentive, and then you're just locking up the money for no real benefit. So now you need to start looking at other discretionary investments where you still have the opportunity to save towards your retirement, and where you also have access to liquidity if and when needed.
And you know, the thing that a lot of people don't realize as well, it's obviously we've spoken about pay disparity, but the reality is that women also play a huge role in families when it comes to caring, not only for the children, but for the elderly parents or possibly siblings or possibly disabled siblings or people who need extra care. And in addition to that, they also still assume the majority of the chores in the household.
Yeah. And they need to budget for these things. They need to be aware of these things costing money and that this might be coming out of their savings because your husband is taking care of monthly costs and taking care of the children, and this is your part of your responsibility. So there's a lot of other things to factor in except for you running the household.
I think there are just so many, you know, one size doesn't fit all.
Yeah.
So what's important here is that you partner with someone that you can trust, that can help you through all these financial decisions, not just for you, you know, even if you are not on your own, but with your partner as well. It's so important that if you have someone that's in your life, that you're on the same page and that you're working towards common goals.
Joint financial planning. It's so important to be involved in the discussions and not allow your partner in your relationship to take control of the finances.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for our next video series on financial planning for women and what it means to create and build wealth as women.